United States aid offices have no business in Nigeria if found funding Boko Haram, Senate President Akpabio speaks. Hello viewers and welcome to InfoGist TV. The President of the Senate, Senator Akpabio, has said Nigeria won't allow the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, continue operation in Nigeria if the American government agency is found guilty of sponsoring terrorism. While speaking during a plenary session, Akpabio said it is important for Nigeria to ascertain the veracity of the allegation. If it is true that USAID has been funding Boko Haram in Nigeria, we have no business allowing them to have offices in Nigeria. So, before we can take decisive steps and also ask for recompense, automatically we must go deeper into the issue, the Senate President said. To investigate the allegation by the United States Congressman Perry's court that the USAID has been funding terrorist organizations including Boko Haram in Nigeria. The Senate summoned heads of security and intelligence agency. The resolution was prompted by an order of urgent national security raised by Senate Mohamedou Ndume, representing Borno South Senatorial District under Order 41. Ndume urged the Senate to treat the revelation with utmost seriousness, citing the devastating impact of terrorist activities, particularly by Boko Haram on Nigeria. He stressed that a comprehensive investigation would dispel speculations about how non-state actors have sustained their operations over the years. The summoned officials include the Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, the Chief of Defense Intelligence Agency, the Director of the Department of State Services, and the National Security Advisor. The Senate President Akpabio endorsed the resolution but emphasized the sensitivity of security matters, stating that such issues are best addressed behind closed doors. He assured that the intelligence chiefs would provide the Senate with a clearer perspective during a private briefing. Senator Abdul Ningi, PDP Bauchi Central, a co-sponsor of the motion, proposed an amendment to ensure that security chiefs first brief senators in a closed-door session, arguing that an open debate would not adequately address the gravity of the allegations, he stated. At this point, whatever is written here is relevant. However, it is almost impossible to do justice to these issues raised in this motion in an open debate. We do not need an elaborate discussions on this matter. We need to be briefed by security agencies first in a closed-door sessions. Ningi added, let's focus on one key action, inviting the NSA, the DG of NIA, and the DSS for a confidential session with the Senate on this matter. This is their duty. This is what they are funded to do. With the security chiefs briefing, we can proceed based on the facts they provide. The Senate agreed to Ningi's proposal, scheduling a closed-door session with the intelligence chiefs to gather detailed information before any further public deliberations. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu last night met with the President of the Senate, Senator Akpabio, at the President's official residence at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. The President of the Senate motorcade was sighted stationed outside President Tinubu's residence at the State House in the evening. Although the agenda of the meeting was not made public at the press time, it came hours after the Senate on Wednesday summoned intelligence chiefs to investigate allegations made by the United States Congressman Perry's court that the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, has been funding terrorist organizations including Boko Haram. The resolution followed an order of urgent national security raised under Order 41 by the Senator Mohamedou Ndume, representing Borno South Senatorial District. Speaking at Wednesday's plenary session, Akpabio said Nigeria won't allow the USAID to continue operating in Nigeria if found guilty of sponsoring terrorism. The President of the Senate said it is important for Nigeria to ascertain the veracity of the allegation. On the other hand, the Senate has summoned the NSA, DSS, NIA, and DIA chiefs over alleged USAID sponsorship of Boko Haram. The Senate has sponsored the National Security Advisor, Malam Nahu Rabidu, the Director General of the Department of State Services, DSS, National Intelligence Agency, and the Defense Intelligence Agency to appear before it behind closed doors. The invited heads of security agencies are to come for explanations on allegations leveled against the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, on sponsoring Boko Haram insurgency in Nigeria. Recall that a United States Congressman, Scott Perry, had a few days ago alleged that USAID had been sponsoring activities of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Though Perry's allegation was already being investigated by the U.S. Congress, the Senate also resolved to do a similar thing during a plenary on Wednesday. Resolution of the Senate was sequel to a motion titled Urgent Need to investigate the alleged fundings of Boko Haram by the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. The motion was sponsored by Senator Ali Ndume, APC, Borno South, and co-sponsored by 8 other senators. The Senate, after debate on the motion, consequently resolved to summon the NSA, the Director General of DSS, Adeola Oluwatosin Ajayi, and his counterparts in NIA and DIA behind closed doors on a day to be communicated to them. On the viral Senate saga, the Senate spokesperson, Yemi Adaromodu, has criticized his colleague, Senator Natasha Akpoti Udegan, over her protests regarding seating arrangements in the Senate chamber. Akpoti Uduagan, who represents Kogi Central under the People's Democratic Party (PDP), had on Thursday refused to use the seat allocated to her, citing Order 10 of the Senate Standing Rules, which protects the privileges of members. At the height of the disagreement, Senate President Akpabio called for security officers to remove her from the chamber. However, interventions from fellow lawmakers prevented the situation from escalating further. Now, reacting to the saga and to the incident during an interview on Channels Television Sunrise Daily, Adaromodu insisted that the Senate is a place for serious business, not a platform for theatrics. What we are saying is that the National Assembly is not for content creation in entertainment. The National Assembly is for serious business, he stated. He also dismissed Akpoti Odoagan's allegation of bullying, arguing that she had already been assigned key committee roles despite being a first-time senator. If she's talking like that, being bullied or sidelined as a first-timer, she even had 3 committees that she was appointed as chairman. You are entitled to only one committee to be the chairman, and she is in charge of foreign affairs, NGOs now, Adaromodu explained. Despite the controversy, Adaromodu ruled out any disciplinary action against Akpoti Uduagan, revealing that her Kogi colleague, Senator Issa Jubril, had already apologized on her behalf. The Senate as a whole has already accepted that tendered apology, so we are not going to revisit that, he assured. Meanwhile, Cynthia Mbamalu, Director of Programs at Yaga Africa, criticized Senate President Akpabio for not allowing Akpoti Uduagan to speak before attempting to have her removed. According to Mbamalu, the female senator was merely citing the Senate standing rules and should have been given the opportunity to express her concerns. I felt that it in itself showed that there was little tolerance for the agitation she presented, Mbamalu said, recalling a 2018 incident where Akpabio had a similar dispute with the then Senate President Bukola Saraki. She further argued that male senators have made more aggressive protests in the past without facing similar consequences. We have seen tougher and angrier agitations by senators, and no one has questioned them for being too aggressive, she noted. The controversy has sparked discussions on gender representations and respect for parliamentary procedures within the Senate. Stay tuned.